If you believe in God so complete, watch this first and foremost. My child, I want you to take a moment to breathe. Not as a reflex, but as a holy act. That breath in your lungs is evidence that you are still here, that I am still close by, and that there is still life inside you. The globe commemorates a momentous day today, one that represents atonement and hope. However, this day is more than just a memory for me. It is a summons, a proclamation, a whisper to your spirit, and a holy upheaval to all that has been numbing, shrinking, and settling inside of you. I wasn't raised from the dead for a sign. I stood up for you. I am aware that there have been times when you have felt as if something inside of you has died, times when disappointment has buried your faith, when stillness has taken your pleasure, and when reality has destroyed your hope. If you believe in God's promises, type 111 and share this video to spread hope. Perhaps you've learned to live numbly, to keep your head held high while your heart silently gives up. However, I've come to inform you that your future does not lie in this spiritual slumber. You are not in this survival. To ensure that you would never have to live as if you were dying on the inside, I entered death. Everything inside you was called to rise with me as I stood up. This isn't just something you happened to read. You didn't come here by accident or out of interest. It was my spirit, not a scroll or a click that led you here. In the silence I have been calling to you. Even when you weren't aware of it, I was sketching you. And I'm facing what you buried right now, at this same minute. What you suppressed is being reawakened by me. But there's more I'm reminding you. It's not over yet. Everything you believed to have no future is now coming back to life. You've performed the rituals. When you felt broken, you grinned. Even when something inside of you ground to a halt, you continued to move. I observed that I didn't take my eyes off it. I didn't refer to your numbness as revolt. I referred to it as survival. And now I'm calling you back. Not just to feel, but to breathe. To live, to believe. You won't remain in the grave like I did. I didn't die on the cross to teach you how to cope with suffering in the absence of recovery. Type 222 if you are ready for God's favor in your life. Your love and support mean everything to us. As we continue sharing God's message of hope, faith, and blessings, if this message has touched your heart, we humbly invite you to show your gratitude by giving at least $120 super thanks each month. Your generosity helps us create more uplifting content that inspires souls and brings people closer to God. By clicking the super thanks button below, you're not just supporting our work, you're becoming a part of this divine mission to spread God's love to those who need it most. Thank you for your kindness. Stay blessed, stay joyful, and may God's grace always be with you. Making history wasn't the only reason I rolled the stone away. I did it to create room for you to emerge as well from the cycle of almost improving, but never truly rising from the dread, from the guilt. I didn't come here to help you become a better version of yourself. I come to create a new you, the pool that tells you there's more, even when you can't identify it, has been there for a purpose recently. That isn't sentimental, there is no pressure there. That's me, that's your soul, hearing the sound of resurrection and recognizing it's your name being called. You were not created to stay in the tomb of your disappointment. You weren't made to cope with emptiness. You were meant to rise. I know you're tired. You've waited a long time. You've carried things no one saw. You've remained loyal when no one affirmed you. You've asked yourself, God, do you still want to use me? When your prayers didn't appear to be answered, do you still see me? Am I still selected? Let me give you a definitive response to those queries. Yes, I do see you, yes. You were my choice. Actually, I still have things planned for you. Furthermore, I have never had a change of heart. Even when you thought you had failed too much, when you stopped expecting me to appear, and when you were unable to feel me, I have always been close. I didn't come just to save the pure, the eligible, and the unflinching. Those who have been through hell and still mutter God. If you're there, I want to believe again, are the ones I came for, the weary, the skeptics, the messy. I come to get you, type 333. If you believe in God's timing, so today, this Resurrection Sunday, I say this with all the authority of heaven. Get up, not in your own power, but in mine. Get up not because the weight has vanished, but because my Spirit is raising you from underneath it. Get up not because you feel ready, but because I am calling you out. Rise from the tomb of your history. Get over your embarrassment. Get rid of things that weren't supposed to define you. Step forth into the life I gave you by dying. This is not the end of your story. This is not a continuation of defeat. This is the beginning of becoming. And today I'm not expecting you to sort it all out. I'm only asking you to answer. T.O. rebreathe, to let your soul say yes. I hear you, I'm ready to rise. That's all I need, a whisper of surrender, a flicker of faith. I'll do the rest, I'll restore. I'll rebuild, I'll resurrect. This is it, your invitation to live again. Your moment of resurrection, your awakening. I'm still talking. The grave is deserted and the stone has been rolled. I stood up so you could stand up. My child, I know what you're carrying, not just the visible weight, the one others see and occasionally comment on, but the quiet one, the weight that was concealed, the inner tug of war between what you believe in your spirit and what you feel in your flesh, the tension between what you've heard about me and what your heart is struggling to reconcile. You've walked through seasons where it felt easier to serve me from a distance than to come close with your whole heart. Not because you didn't want me, but because part of you wasn't sure I still wanted you. But hear me now, I never ceased seeking you. Type for 144 if you are ready to walk in God's light. There's nothing about you that surprises me. Not the doubts you've wrestled with in silence. Not the choices you regret but still don't talk about. Not the anger you buried under performance, or the exhaustion you've tried to numb with distraction. I see it all, and nevertheless, I chose you. Still I wait. Still I draw closer. You have never captivated me with your might. I've always been drawn by your honesty, your authenticity, your willingness to bring me the raw and filtered parts of your life, even when you don't have the words for them. I speak loudest there, between what you show other people and what you keep hidden from yourself. I own you, you are still desired too. Numerous voices, some quiet, some loud, some even spiritual in tone, but devoid of my truth, have attempted to determine your value. You've been told you need to earn your place in my presence, that you have to be more disciplined, more clean, more pure, more consistent before I can use you again. But I never required perfection to begin with. I didn't wait for Peter to become consistent before I called him to lead. I asked Mary Magdalene to follow, but I didn't ask her to let go of her past first. I didn't hold off till you were flawless. I came for you while you were still in the middle of the process. I don't call the polished. I call the willing, and I'm calling again. Not with pressure, not with humiliation, nor with performance. I'm calling you back to the area of honest connection. If you trust God's plan, type 555 and forward this video to 7 others. The point when you stop trying to pray precisely and just start being with me again. You don't need a script, just a moment. Just space. I've missed that aspect of you. The portion that didn't strive to impress me. The portion that just thought I loved you, even in the thick of your chaos. You still have that bit, and I'm grabbing for it right now. I want to let you know how much I wish to walk with you. Once again, not to remind you of your failure. You are not a defective product. You're still eligible. I can utilize you since you're not too erratic. I've never needed you to be flawless. All I've wanted is for you to give up. To get close, you don't have to repair yourself. It's your closeness to me that begins the real fixing. You've sought solace in performance, control, and self-improvement. But presence is what you need, and I'm giving it to the one who is willing to quit jogging right now, not as a prize for working harder. Return to religion, no. Not out of guilt, don't be afraid. Return to me, the true me, the one who never mispronounces your heart and knows your name, the one who declares you attractive despite seeing your wounds, the person who listens to your silence and deduces that it is a desire for intimacy. I don't find your distance offensive. I understand how life has sculpted you to safeguard your soul, but you don't have to defend yourself from me. The safest place you will ever go back to is me. Without me, you were never supposed to be strong. You weren't made to handle everything by yourself. Allow me to bear what you've been attempting to control. If you believe in the power of God's love, type 666 and share this video. Allow me to take over your inability to organize your thoughts, your uninvited emotions, and the confusion you cover up with your busy schedule. You don't have to merit my relaxation. You own it even now. Come into stillness, enter the market. Enter a state of tranquility that is independent of things making sense. You've attempted to exert control. Try trusting now you haven't lost your position either. Your opportunity has not been lost. Your hunger is sufficient, even if it seems like your heart hasn't returned completely yet. That small flicker inside of you, the one that clicked this message, that read this far, that hasn't given up completely. That flicker is faith. And even at the smallest whisper, I can breathe on faith. Let me begin there. Let me meet you where you are, not where you think you're supposed to be. You have always been deserving of love, because I am love, not because you merited it. I also don't show love in fragments. I give it completely, freely, relentlessly. That hasn't changed, even if you walked away, even if you went silent, even if you thought I stopped listening. I never turned my face. I've been right here every step, waiting for this moment of return. I'm here to repair you, not to lecture you. My purpose is to remind you of who you have always been in me, not to remind you of what you did wrong. If you are ready to embrace God's love, type 777 and share this video. So now breathe, let the weight start to lift. Release the pressure, let the fear that screams, I'm not enough, dissolve in the midst of reality. I stood up so you could stand up. I'm calling you back to me now, gently, completely and completely. You've made it through, my darling. But now it's time to live. Please subscribe to support our channel and turn on bell notification.